Hi everyone, it's Carissa at Sprinkled with Glitter, and I'm here with a card project for you today. I wanted to use this Inked Rose collection from We Are Memory Keepers, and I've pulled out a few different patterns, keeping in mind that I wanted to do one large, one kind of medium, and one small pattern to kind of create this card. And I thought I would just flip through this paper pad for you to show you all the really cool colors and patterns that are in this pad. And you get two of each pattern, which I like because I feel like, I don't know, if I cut one, then I have more of it. I'm also going to be using that twine from We Are Memory Keepers. It's the So Easy twine. And this tag is from the Tag It kit from Lifestyle Crafts. This is my favorite tag to use for cards. And also, you may have seen me in a previous video cut these out of the cork, and I'm going to be using some of those shapes as well. So I'm going to start out by cutting out my tag, and I'm going to put my die cut shapes blade side up onto my Genius platform. Now the Genius platform is magnetic, so these will stay in place. And I'm just going to put that tag reinforcer on one side and the tag on the other. And then I will place my A plate over that, or the A pad over that, and then I will just crank it through my evolution tool. And that just cuts like butter. So that's I'll cut out, and I'm going to set it to the side and work on my card base here. This is a craft card base. I'm scoring it at 5.5, and it was cut to 4.25 by 11, but you're going to see me trim some of this off because I started out wanting a more narrow card, and then I felt like the scale was a little off. So I'm starting out here by trimming a 1/2 inch off the width of this card. So it ends up being 3.75 by 5.5 at this point, and then I go and trim off a little more later. So I'm taking these pattern papers here, and I'm just cutting a couple 1/4 inch strips off of these. Now when I come to the stripe, I want to get as many of the colors on this as possible, so I'm going to make sure that I cut it along the proper edge to do that, because if I cut it along the other edge, I'm just going to get the pink. So that'll give me the most colors. I'm just going to attach my tag reinforcer to my tag using a little Tombow Mono multi-glue, and rather than get my fingers all gluey, I will use my quick stick from Lifestyle Crafts and We Are Memory Keepers to pick this up and place it onto the tag. It just keeps my fingers nice and clean when I'm working on my project. Once I get that attached, I'm going to start attaching these pattern paper strips to the bottom of the tag. I'm going to start with this little polka dot here, and I'm just using my grid mat to help line that up. And then I'll use the, put some adhesive on the stripe piece. And then you can see here that those colors are only a few colors, and I wanted to get some of that navy in there because I'm going to be using that rose pattern. So I'm just adjusting it until I like it, and then I can flip it over and trim off the excess. But I did have to kind of shift that one pattern paper over so that I could get plenty of the colors that I wanted. And you can see here that this is going to be the twine that I'm using. It's actually So Easy floss. It's made to go with the So Easy tool, but you can use it as twine too. And I'm just going to trim off a piece, and I'll take those two loose ends, tie them in a knot so that it makes a loop, and then I'll slip that loop through the top of the tag to make just the little string portion on the tag. So, and I chose the middle tone of the pink because I felt like it matched the pattern papers that I was using the best. And then I'm just going to trim that off there. Now I want to place a piece of this rose paper behind, and I'm using the nesting circles here, and I was just trying to decide here which size would work the best. So when I found the proper size, I'm just going to cut that out again using my Genius platform, put that on blade side up, my pattern paper over it, and then use the A plate to crank that through. Now here's kind of what I'm going for, and this is when I decided that that scale was all wrong on this card. So I'm going to go ahead and bring my trimmer back in and cut a 1/2 inch off the bottom as well. So now it's 3.75 by 5 inches. And that, you can see, suits the scale of all the pieces that I'm working with much better. And I'm kind of looking at this, and I decided it needed a little more of this twine, so I'm just going to wrap it around the bottom of that tag above those pattern papers. And I'm going to tie it in a bow and trim off the ends there. And that just adds a little bit more to the tag. Now, I wanted to put a sentiment on this card, but I didn't really want to bring out the stamps. So I brought in, these are the Inked Rose Albums Made Easy journaling cards, and they're made for the Instagram albums that are by We Are Memory Keepers, and they come with a variety of these 4x4 as well as 2x2 cards. So I'm just flipping through these cards and seeing what I might be able to use as a sentiment on this card. I settled on this little hello piece here. This is one of the 2x2 cards, and I'm just going to trim that down to where I'm just left with the little hello sentiment as well as that little vine shape. And then I'm going to trim the end into a banner end and place it onto my tag. Now I'm looking at this tag, or this card, I'm sorry, and I'm thinking that it's time to start adhering things, but I'm not so sure. So you'll see me kind of add something to this in a little bit because I'm just very non-committal at this point. So I just kind of set that to the side and I decided to go ahead and start adhering things to the tag because I knew I liked that. So I'm going to adhere the sentiment down just using a little bit of regular tape runner adhesive. And then I will place that cork heart onto the tag using some foam dimensional adhesive. And I'll just place that right down there towards the bottom of the tag. Now this is where I figured out what my card front needed, and I decided it needed a little bit of texture. So I brought in I believe it's called the Honeycomb Embossing folder from Lifestyle Crafts. I'm putting that again on my Genius platform, but this time I'm going to use my B. Now B is for embossing, so I'm just going to run that through my Evolution tool and you'll see my really cool textured piece there. And I did think that this was better, but it needed a little something behind it. So I'm just going to adhere that embossed piece onto a piece of that rose patterned paper and then trim that down. Now I just used that part where the circle was already cut out. Nobody's even going to know. And then I trimmed it down and placed it onto the front of my card. And I'm much happier with the card base at this point. And I decided I could go ahead and commit to putting this circle down. So I just put some tape runner adhesive onto that circle and placed it onto the front of my card. And then I placed the tag onto the front of the card using some foam dimensional adhesive as well. So you'll see me place that there, and I'm looking at it and I think I want just something a little bit more. So I brought in some enamel dots. These are from Studio Calico. I used a mixture of both white to pull in the white splotches on that pattern paper and gold as well. So I just kind of scattered a few here and there and using my craft pick to put those down. And there is my completed card for today. So just a really fun and cute project that I put together using the inked rose line from We Are Memory Keepers. I hope you enjoyed this video. Remember that I have all of the products linked in the YouTube description as well as over at my blog at sprinkledwithglitter.com where you can find more information as well. When you shop at shopweare.com, which is the We Are Memory Keepers shopping site, you can use the coupon code GLITTER to save 20% off your order. Thanks for stopping by. I hope you have a fabulous day.